You all did great jobs. You had really intelligent questions, and New Brunswick 2020 thanks you for those. But, what did you think? Do you think the candidates actually answered your questions?
I feel as if they beat around the bushes with a few of the questions. Yeah.
So, were they trying to be purposefully evasive, or maybe they didn't understand, or what do you think?
Maybe for the environmental question they didn't understand, but I believe that they were just trying to make a point of whose party is doing what, not exactly answering our questions.
You led off the night. What did you think about the way the candidates handled your question?
With any political debate, I know they did answer the question, but they kind of start infighting and then they start giving the runaround, and you can't get a clear answer to your question sometimes.
So, because of all the infighting, you felt you didn't really get a clear answer, or who do you think gave you the best, idea of what their party or they themselves stand for?
I would probably have to say it was either Jason or Serge.
So, do you feel that the candidates did an okay job of alleviating your concerns about the economic situation in Acadie-Bathurst?
That question is definitely the most important for me and for a large variety of people in the Acadie-Bathurst riding. It's our hot button issue because we haven't had a major industry in the region for many years now, particularly in Bathurst itself. And all the candidates did the typical politics thing and just ran around the question for a long time as they gathered their actual thoughts on the topic. But by the end of it, I believe that, they all try to address one individual issue. Somebody will say it's the airport, somebody will say it's the port, somebody will say it's the old mill site. None of them actually address one overarching issue, which was bringing the youth back. And I think that's the actual key to bringing this place back, is bringing in young people with new ideas who want to rebuild the region in a new image, not necessarily on old industry like we had before, but on new, more modern methods, not necessarily with what Mr. Bro would have to offer as part of the green platform.
Say it with a little bit more disdain next time.
Maybe not necessarily with what Mr. Bro has for the Green Party, but
And on that topic, so it's a really easy segue to get back into youth. Your question was on youth, and you specifically mentioned student debt and basically the riots in Montreal that led to the fall of the Charest government and the reduction in the rate of their student debt going forward. Do you think we should be rioting, or what? What do you think? Did anything that the candidates say tonight stop or alleviate your concerns about the debt crisis that students face?
Well, I was quite disappointed because like, even though I asked a question about youth, they still ended up bringing the elderly and the middle-aged people into the argument, and that's not what I asked about.
Do you think that's because they're more concerned about, say, the television cameras over there and the electorate being the seniors, that youth aren't voting? You can keep going on your comment.
I'm sure that if they allowed the youth to vote, then they would, but they really don't.
Okay. Last question then, to go around the horn. Who do you think won? It's kind of a two-parter. Who do you think won this debate tonight? And did that influence your vote, or who you would have voted for, or your preference going forward?
I think Serge Cormier did the best, and that didn't change my vote because I would have voted for Liberal anyway.
I was also of the belief that Serge Cormier did the best in this debate. He definitely had the most valid points. He had the most solid evidence of what he was going to do for the region, in my opinion. He was also very passionate about his platform, frequently arguing with Mr. Godin, mostly, over topics. And he very much asserted himself as the dominant personality of the debate, in my opinion.
Well, I would agree with Alex. I think Serge did a fantastic job. I also think Jason did a good job as well. I think it's going to come down between those two, to be honest.
Okay, and just to follow on that thread before I get to you, Brittany, do you think that the electorate here, because of the age, do you think it's going to be that much more of an uphill battle for Serge to take an NDP seat that was held by Yvonne Godin for so long, even though Yvonne's not running anymore?
That's a loaded question. I'm not sure because, Yvonne's gone now, and That's going to be tough for Jason to. Sorry, I don't really have much time to think of the response, but I think it's going to be tough for Jason to keep all the seats, keep all the voters he's got.
My comment on that is that I believe, first off, for many years before Yvon Godin was voted in, this was a Liberal riding predominantly. And like I said in my question, a lot of the people around here are old enough to remember that Liberal leadership in this area. And as evidenced by the many claps that he got in the audience tonight, it's clear that the Liberal Party still holds major sway in Acadie-Bathurst, in my opinion. So I believe that Yvon Godin was mostly a vote for the region and not federal. And I believe that now that Yvon Godin is not here to help the region in his own unique way, the people of Acadie-Bathurst will be voting more federally in mind and will be putting a Liberal into power, hopefully.
Okay, so we know where your bias lies. That's okay. And Brittany, last question goes to you. Again, so who do you think won the debate tonight? And did that change your mind in any way over who you would have voted had you been able to in this upcoming election?
I'd have to agree with Davey. I believe Serge and Jason both had the floor on this one, and my choice isn't changed from what I previously thought the contestants.
You're not going to disclose who your choice would have been?
No.
All right, that's very good. All right, thank you guys so much for helping us out and getting all these questions crafted for us. And, I think Mr. Daly's got a good young crop of Acadie-Bathurstians coming up, and hopefully you guys can stick around and help us rebuild this place. Thanks.